Hello guys, welcome to the channel again. So today we have with us Raghu sir. Thanks for joining for the today's podcast. We'll be covering a lot of things regarding big data, cloud computing, and emerging technologies. So sir has a huge experience in that, and sir, why not you just start from your journey, how it all started?
Thank you. Well, so it's an overwhelming question, to start my journey, right? I come from a very normal background, not like, so in my schooling, I did good, and then college, this was all like pretty normal. I was not a techie guy or, a nerd or somebody like that, right?
Okay.
Then after my post graduation,
So in which field did you
I did in electronics.
Okay.
So my graduation is in physics, and my original plan was to get into the area of physics and probably become not a scientist but something related to that,
Okay.
right? But then I did a post graduation in electronics, and in those days, I'm talking about probably 2004. Getting a job was not so easy, very difficult, and all these campus placements and all were not there that much. So after my post graduation, I was thinking like, what should I do? I was not cracking any interviews and openings, and that is when my first job, I got it in NIIT Technologies. So even today NIIT is there, but back in 2004 they were like a pioneers in training. A lot of training courses
Yeah.
and offerings they had, right? So my first job was as a trainer with NIT. So I used to tell my mom like, if I become something, I'll never become a teacher in my life. I used to like, so she will say somehow you'll become a trainer. And then I didn't really want to become a trainer, but in NIT my first job was as a trainer. So 2 years I was with NIT, and I was teaching networking basically. These switches, routers, connecting them,
Okay.
internet networking, all these things I was teaching.
Mainly the hardware part of it.
Yes,
Okay.
the hardware part, wiring, cabling, everything, right? And that was really fun. And I think that is where I got this spark of like, okay, I can in fact talk to a group of people. I never realized like, I'll be able to talk to somebody, but there, it came accidentally, and I started sort of like enjoying it, talking to people. So after NIIT, I thought like I should need some real world experience. So I joined Dell, the company
Okay.
called Dell. So where I was working as a information security technician for a couple of years. And from Dell, I changed to a company called CSS Corporation,
Okay.
where I was working as a senior network engineer.
What does CSS do? Like exactly?
CSS is basically, they are a service organization, and they have clients and they manage their networks and all.
Okay.
So I was into CSS as a senior network engineer, and again, more related to networking and security and all these things. And that's when I got into this field of big data, right? That was in 2010, the first time I heard about, okay, something called big data. And our company was little bit into it, but I was more interested to understand like how this works, what it is. It was very new in India at that point in time. So I sort of like started learning big data and figuring out where it is getting used. Then after CSS, I had my own startup company. We ran it for about 2 to 3 years, the startup company. And then I went into consulting. So currently what I do is I work as a consultant and trainer. So part of my job is training, obviously. So I train corporates or universities or whatnot. Part of my job is as a consultant. So companies call and say, hey, we have a problem, we would like to take your help to solve it. Or some of the companies will say, okay, we want to migrate our platform to place A to place B. Can you be a consultant?
Yeah.
So I worked as an external consultant for many organizations, including Flipkart.
Okay.
Just some familiar names I'm saying. Flipkart, Cisco, so many organizations. So these days, what I'm doing, I'm more concentrating on the academic side, because I feel there is a huge gap between the technology and the students who are learning the
Learning
technology, right? So I thought like consulting is very few these days. Mostly I'm into curriculum development and trainings, all related to technology and emerging fields. So that's basically what I do. I am signed up with a couple of universities in India and abroad. So in abroad, you have this Texas University. So I'm kind of like a part-time visiting faculty, online, of course, not offline. And here, I mean, I'm closely associated with Great Lakes, obviously. Then there is Great Learning and couple of other universities and training institutions. So I'm like an independent consultant now. Don't work full time for anybody. So basically, I'm jobless in that sense. but kind of like get associated with all these
So
things.
what is the role of an independent consultant, like in a company, let's say Flipkart, right? So does he have to strategize regarding migration, or what is the key role which a consultant plays?
So a consultant plays a role for a niche skill. For
Yeah.
example, if you are a Flipkart employee
Yeah.
and let's say you are a SQL developer or whatever, and if the project involves that, then they don't have to hire anybody. They already have employees. But when I was with Flipkart, they were into big data migrations. So at that time, I was handling a project where the knowledge of big data was required.
Can you also just break down for a lot of viewers, right? They don't know much about big data. So exactly how these technologies work also, and in a little
Right. So big data in general, like the name says, huge amount of data,
Yeah.
naturally, right? So and this term has become very common these days. So back in 2010 and all, this was like a very unheard term. Like when you say big data, people doesn't know. So today, if you look at the word, it is driven by data, right?
Okay.
Everywhere it is data.
Yeah.
So what companies are supposed to do, they are supposed to collect this data, store this data, and analyze this data. So if you take the example of somebody like, let's say, Swiggy or Zomato, right? Look at the amount of data they will have.
Yeah.
So all these orders they have to collect, and whenever these delivery boys come, their latitude, longitude, their positions they have to connect, weather data they have to collect, because they have to plan deliveries based on weather actually. Social media data they have to collect, because it is related to social media. So if you look at typically a day in Zomato, you will be collecting terabytes of data.
Yeah.
Huge amount of data. And the other problem is this data is not like in one format. For example, I have a file, and if it is an Excel format, I can do whatever analysis I want. I know Excel. If all the data is in Excel, it's not a problem. But the problem is if you take any big data use case, some data is image, some is video, some is text, all these things. So basically in big data, we look at how to collect this data, store this data, and manage this data. And you will be surprised to know that big data has a huge impact in our society. In fact, the last elections, right?
Yeah.
BJP won, obviously. So in those elections, BJP's analytics team had used big data to understand customer trend. Not customer, the people's voters trend, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that is possible. You collect massive. Look at the country India, right? So we are the biggest country in the world. I mean, in terms of population. So whatever we are posting, whatever we are commenting, they collected all this data. So they get a bird's eye view. For example, state number 1, this is what people think. This is what they want. So accordingly, their proposals and offers were made, and it is a success. I mean, every party does that in US and all. Everybody does. So big data has its applications from something very simple like delivering a Swiggy order to probably NASA's weather satellites, right? So it's everywhere almost. And it's like very difficult to talk about it because the field is like
very
vast, right? Yeah.
And where does like cloud computing lies? Like big data, does it go hand in hand, or how does that work?
Yeah. So previously the idea was like big data and cloud were like two separate realms actually.
Yeah.
Probably I'm talking about. So I'm a bit old, so 2006 or 2007. So in those days when somebody say big data, it's a separate technology, and cloud is a separate technology.
Yeah.
So now the trend that we see is everything is on the cloud. Well, in simple terms, cloud is someone else's computer.
Absolutely.
So people always ask like, what's cloud computing? It's someone else's computer.
Yeah.
Right. So basically you go to these companies like Amazon or Microsoft, You tell them, I want your servers, your storage, so I can use them on a rented basis. So a simple example will be, instead of buying a car, you rent an Uber.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So when you rent an Uber, you just pay for whatever ride you have, and you don't own the car, it is cheaper. So in cloud also, let's say I want to get a server, right? So I don't have to buy the server. I go to Amazon or Microsoft, I rent it from them, use it 2 days, throw it away. I pay only for 2 days, right?
2 days. Okay.
So that has in fact disrupted the industry a lot.
Okay.
Because one of the main constraints in industry was money. You remember in 2007, 2008 and all, the number of startups in our country was very less.
Yes.
And the main reason was money. Because if a startup has to start, they want huge servers and software, whatnot.
Yes.
Today, India is, I think, the country with most number of startups in the world. So one reason for that, the number of startups is obviously because of this cloud. Because when you look at cloud, every service is offered and every service is cheap. So if, let's say, I have an idea, right? I want to build, let's say, a mobile app.
Yeah.
Some idea I have. I can get started today with zero cost and build anything because all the services are
Available for free.
So big data now is in the cloud.
Okay.
So previously people used to do all this on premise, inside their offices. Now it's all rented in the cloud.
Rented.
That's the difference.
And like, I would also like to know your story in this. Like, you have worked on a lot of projects, right? So some of the exciting projects which you have worked on, let's say you were mentioning about Flipkart and these companies. How are they using big data and cloud computing hand in hand to maximize their revenues, or let's say top line, bottom line? Like how much impact has it made in that terms?
So in big data, usually we talk about something called value.
Yeah.
So value represent like, okay, you can collect a lot of data, but if that does not provide any insights or value, it's practically useless. So there are several examples. For example, so I have to also probably introduce machine learning.
Yes,
obviously.
Absolutely.
So artificial intelligence and machine learning is like, without it you cannot talk today, right? So big data also works closely with all these ML and all, because naturally if I'm creating a machine learning model, right, it requires huge amount of data these days, right? So one specific example that comes to my mind is that people can relate to, right, is you have this experience, like you go to Flipkart and then there is this cash on delivery.
Yes.
So what people used to do, they will click on cash on delivery, and let's say it's a mobile phone and 20,000 rupees. So what Flipkart has to do, they have to package it, they have to ship it, probably 3-5 days. There is a lot of money involved, right? Logistics. And once you receive it, the customer will probably say, I don't want. He can cancel the order. It used to happen like 10 years back almost. I mean, if you look at the scenario. So a lot of customers will order online, and this will be cash on deliveries. And these cash on deliveries, at the doorstep, you will be able to cancel. I think now it is not possible, but it was very common probably 5 years back or 10 years back, right? So, so the problem is the company is losing money. They are unnecessarily shipping these products and then, losing money, right? Because customer is denying it. So a big data solution for that was, we collected data from all the customers who had cancelled their order, cash on delivery. And this was huge amount of data. Then we collected the logistics data, right? Then we figured out what could be the reason for cancellation. Is it because the order is delayed? Is it because they bought some other phone? Several reasons were there, right? And then this is huge amount of data. Then this was given to a machine learning model to study.
And how does that model works?
What that model does, it takes this data, right? And for example, customer A bought phone, he cancelled. And sometimes Flipkart takes feedback like, why did you cancel? So he will say, okay, I bought another phone, I'm not interested, whatever. So they collect all this data, huge amount of data, they train this model, and now this model can predict whether somebody will cancel the order or not. So next time what happens if I order a phone for cash on delivery, obviously, the phone will be delivered, but so Flipkart cannot say like we will remove cash on delivery.
Okay.
There will be a bad impact on the customer. You
Yes.
cannot remove cash on delivery.
Yeah.
That is a USP for you. So what then happens is if I order a phone online, cash on delivery, my machine learning model is going to predict on a scale of 1 to 10, what are the chances this guy will cancel
the order.
Huh.
So it's a,
So if the value is like 2, very low, he will cancel anyway, imagine, right? Then their IVR will dial the customer.
okay.
It will ask like press hash if you really want the order. So, but if it is like 9 or 10, it is like 100% he will buy, probably they will ship it. So this saved like crores of rupees. I mean, this is actually you finding value, right? I mean, like you basically have, you start from nothing, but then you bring with this value. So this is one example which I can think about, right?
So let's talk about the ML and AI, little bit. That's the like next big thing right now. And everyone is talking about it. If you search like just AI top videos, you will get probably thousands and thousands of it.
Right, obviously.
And but there is a lot of there has been a clarity like after from last year we are seeing a lot of new tools that has been developing, a lot of new companies who have entered the space, and it looks like startups are now trying to gauge on this opportunity to from big massive companies.
Right.
So what is exactly going on, if you can address it?
Yes. So one thing that I feel is if you look at the industry probably 15 years back
Yeah.
or 20 years back, the rate of innovation was very slow. Like a new technology comes maybe once in a year, once in 2 years. So we had like a very slow growth. In a way, I think that was good also. Now what is happening, the rate of growth is very high. I mean, every week probably a new tool comes in. For example, you had ChatGPT, now there is Gemini,
Yeah.
and then now Gemini can probably create videos, or I think ChatGPT can generate videos,
Yeah.
1 minute videos. So it took only 1 year to achieve something like this. I mean, like, so one thing that I would like to say is that AI or ML is here to stay.
Okay.
So there are a lot of technologies which is sort of like trending and probably fades out over the period of time. And people say it's great now, but maybe after 3 years or 5 years.
You have this Gartner hype cycle.
Hype cycle, obviously.
So in that also, I think they have ranked AI at
Correct.
top
Correct.
right now.
So AI is there to stay.
Yeah.
And the basic idea is a lot of daily tasks that we do can be automated using AI, obviously.
Yes.
And the second thing is its impact is unprecedented. I mean, every field has its impact. And the third thing is you don't need any specialist skill to learn this. I mean, if you look at IT industry, I think there's a huge change. For example, you want to learn database or you want to learn programming language, then you are supposed to be a techie or what you call software engineer.
Yes, absolutely.
You are in that bracket. But when AI comes, a lot of people don't know this. A lot of people think like AI is part of your computers or IT. It's not.
Okay.
AI is a very generic topic. So anybody can, from any background can learn it. In fact, we have a lot of people who are studying AI from completely different background. I have seen people with BA music degree. Seriously, I mean, getting into AI field. I mean, what is the relation, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, so there is no prerequisite to learn AI, which is, I think, a great start for many people. So you get something which is so exciting and anybody can learn, then naturally it sustains, right? And now you can see, even I was thinking like probably it's a bubble, it might burst, but the latest news is that Sam Altman, right, the founder of OpenAI, he has asked for 7 trillion investment.
Yeah, for chips and
for chips, right?
Yeah.
7 trillion is twice or thrice the budget of India. I mean,
GDP.
so this is the biggest ask in the universe so far, right?
Sure.
So if that much money is coming in, I don't think it will go anywhere, right? I mean, otherwise you can say it's a hype or something. So my advice will be, no matter whatever you're doing, you have to learn AI.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't matter what is your field. Probably I am a marketing guy, or probably I am into sales, or I'm a truck driver probably, I don't know. But anybody and everybody should have a basic idea of this. Like this has become the new standard. You remember when computers came, then people were not ready to accept it, and then the basic requirement became like you should know how to operate a computer, right?
Okay.
I mean, at a time it came like, okay, without learning what is a computer, you cannot survive,
Yeah.
right? And then when mobile phones came, then it became like, yeah, you should know how to operate a smartphone. Now the requirement is you have to understand what is AI.
Yeah.
The perspective might change. For example, if I am a manager, I am into sales, I probably learn AI from a manager's point of view. How can it help? I probably don't want to sit and code and all, right? But if I am a developer or somebody who is level 1, level 2, that level, then I can go deeper into that.
And how can people capitalize, like how to learn about AI, how to get that edge apart from the competition, because
Okay.
everybody knows like there are basic tools out there, but what is the one thing which people can actually use and implement
Huh.
in terms of learning these new technologies?
Okay, so I always tell this to whomever asks me about AI. It's like they're confused about so many courses getting
Yeah.
offered, and some of these courses are very costly, right? I mean, there are courses which are like 3 lakh, 5 lakhs. I mean, it's worth obviously, but people may not be able to afford it.
Afford.
So the first thing is you have to get a taste of it. Like, can I do it? Is this my field? Like, should I go deeper into this, or if I just learn the basics? So what I suggest is Coursera, right? You might be knowing
Yeah.
Coursera. The founder of Coursera is Andrew NG. He's the founder of Coursera. He has one of the best free courses in the world for AI. This guy literally invented AI, so no need to ask.
Okay.
So if you go to Coursera, search for machine learning or deep learning, just put Andrew NG, you will see absolutely free courses, and they are a gem.
Okay.
I mean, I've never seen anything like that in my life, right? And you look at the rating, it's like 4.9 star, 3 lakh, 4 lakh people rating 4.9. I mean, so that's free, but nobody knows, right?
Okay.
So my suggestion will be start with Andrew's course from Coursera. So that covers basics of machine learning. It talks about Python, bit of stats, bit of machine learning. You will build a model, but you will get an idea. Oh, this is what it is talking about.
Yes.
Machine learning and deep learning. Then you decide, okay, is this something that I should pursue? Do I want to learn more? Then probably you can go deeper. Either probably you want to do an MS in machine learning, or probably a graduate degree, or whatever is that area. So Andrew's course is something that I suggest because 2 reasons. It is, first of all, free. Second, it is authentic. So today one of the other challenges, you go to YouTube, you search for videos, you really know which one is
Actually
the trend, right? Because you don't have any idea.
Yes.
Right? So you search, and then some video pops up. Maybe it is good, maybe it is bad, but Andrew is like the best in the industry. So I have personally gone through his Stanford University lectures are there. That's also available in YouTube.
Okay.
The Stanford University lectures, which are also free. So that will give you an idea like what it is. Then the other thing is, a lot of people may not know this. People who are in the industry obviously know. People always ask like, what is that you expect from me if I want to learn AI or ML? It is mathematics actually.
Okay.
Mathematics. So you should be good in math, and especially statistics, right? So all this runs on top of statistics. So if you a +2 level, PU level statistics. So if you are a person who has a bit of analytical mind, and you know a bit of mathematics, you are inclined towards that, then this is your area. Others can also learn. I mean, even people who are not so great in maths can also learn naturally. And don't worry about programming, because the other thing that people ask is like, okay, you have to use Python or some language. So does that mean I should be like a expert programmer? Should I program? No, the type of programming or analysis we do in AI is more data oriented.
Okay, so what is the difference between a data oriented programming and a normal one?
For example, let's say I want to create a billing software.
Yeah.
Right? That's pure programming. Probably my words are bad, not like pure programming. That's a different way of programming.
Okay.
So that requires a bit of expertise. That's where you need software engineers.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're building a website, you want to write the code. But when it comes to ML, you don't want to do any of this. You
Yes.
just want to slice and dice the data and then analyze the data, right? So for this, you just need an analytical mind, and the programming also falls in that section.
Okay.
So basically, you will say, okay, take a data, cut the second row, cut the third column, remove some zeros, add some. So this kind of
Programming.
similar to Excel, I should say.
Yes.
Yeah. So Excel is very similar, right?
Yes.
So some people are naturally good at Excel because they have this analytic mind. So they can very easily get into ML or AI.
Yes.
But the bottom line is you have to get into. There is no other go. I mean, long run there is no other go.
So this technology is going to stay for
This is going to stay.
long period of time.
And for people who are very new to this,
Yeah.
what are the skills they should concentrate?
Yeah.
Python, obviously, because it's impossible to think about the world without Python now.
Why is it important to learn about Python, right?
Well, I would say, like, honestly speaking, I hate Python. I don't know if I can say it in a podcast, but
Yeah, sure.
Python, a lot of people say Python is not a pure programming language.
Okay.
See, when this ML and all started, machine learning started, people wanted to do it,
Yeah.
obviously. Now, machine learning can be done in any language, not only Python. Say Java, you can do it. But the problem is people from all different background comes, right? So they are not techies or they are not programmers. So Python is the easiest language to learn.
Okay.
Very easy to learn. I mean, it's literally like anybody can master it in a week or something. In the AI field, I'm saying, right? So
Okay.
Python is very easy to learn, easy to express your ideas. So naturally, going forward, I believe Python is going to stay because most of the ML AI written in Python, so that is going to stay. So at least start with Python. Maybe after 3 years, replacing Python, something might come up, but right now it is the hottest language.
Hottest.
Yes. So Python will be one skill.
Yeah.
Then the other skill which goes hand in hand is SQL,
Okay.
the RDBMS database
Database,
language,
yeah.
right? I cannot stress how important it is. Probably it is more important than Python. Because another thing probably I forgot to tell you is that so machine learning is trending, obviously,
Yes.
right? But that's not the only thing trending, right? So I'm saying that, okay, I'm going to predict sales or predict deliveries or whatever. So I need data for this,
Yeah.
right? So from where am I going to get data? Who will help me to get data? So that's when data engineers come into picture. So data engineering is a hot topic now. So this is where you are collecting the data, storing the data, preparing it, and getting ready this too for the machine learning
Machine
folks
learning.
and other folks also. I mean, so in general, these people are responsible for managing the data, from where to get it, how to get it.
Yes.
So in this area, SQL is the king.
Okay.
So, I mean, probably not everybody is into machine learning,
Machine
right?
learning.
So, but another tool I want in the industry, that will be
SQL.
SQL, obviously. Like
Like
Power BI,
Power BI and
Tableau.
Tableau.
These tools can be learned on your own.
Yes.
I mean, we were doing a CSR program and we have 7th standard students creating dashboards in Tableau. I mean, visualization is an art,
Yeah.
It's not that much technology, but yeah. So a demand for visualization tools are very high now. So if you have some spare time, right, what you can do is you can just go to YouTube, look for some Tableau videos or Power BI videos. Or if you have some money to spend, you can even go to Udemy. You will get like 500 rupee courses.
Yes,
In Udemy, it's
absolutely.
500 rupees. And that will be like end to end, right? So Python, obviously, SQL, and probably a visualization tool. For a beginner, that should be where it is. And then probably things will change. I mean, if you really ask me, should I learn cloud computing? Yes, but for a beginner, all of a sudden getting into all this might be
Would be too intimate.
challenging,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So you have also worked in emerging technologies, right? So what is emerging technologies all about, and what are the current trends which are going on in the industry right now?
So emerging technologies are there every time, every year. That's like new technologies that are coming
Which
up.
are coming up.
Ha. Some of them will have a slow growth.
Okay.
I mean, like they will come up like boom, but then it probably will not catch up that much. Some of them will overcome. For example, artificial intelligence and machine learning is obviously an emerging technology. You have blockchain.
Yeah.
There is something called blockchain, right?
Yes.
So blockchain is a classic example where the technology had lot to promise, but it did not catch up with the trends
Okay.
actually.
Yeah.
So blockchain came probably this Bitcoin and all is
Yeah.
based on blockchain
Blockchain
technology.
technology. Yes.
But blockchain is not only Bitcoin. There are so many other applications like banking and all. So I still remember in 2019, and this was like the hyped thing. The world is going to change, and I think the world is changing, but blockchains are like staggered the growth a little bit. I mean,
What
not.
was the reason for blockchain not growing that fast?
So I believe there was an issue with standardization
Okay.
because there were a lot of companies and a lot of products in blockchain. So standardization was one issue, and adoption was also very low. So I mean, its idea was to replace the existing things. For example, a banking network.
Yeah.
So blockchain is very much useful in banking networks. So traditionally, you have this transfer. I transferred 5,000 rupees to you, so that is handled by a banking system. But blockchain can replace that. But a bank will not do that overnight, right? Banks are like they look for stability. So even if blockchain is promising, they probably don't want to like switch to that immediately. They are not aware of the risk, right? So due to these reasons, I think blockchain is still there, but the growth is not that much. Currently, okay, obviously people will know. Currently, the most demanding thing is your large language models, LLMs. So those are your Chat GPT, generative AI.
Yeah.
It's called Gen AI,
Gen.
right? So in Gen AI, there is text, and now you have image and video. So Gen AI can generate images. You can put a prompt and it will generate a video. So the latest one is that, right?
Yeah.
I can put a prompt and a 1 minute video can be generated. So naturally, that is the in the ML side is where it is trending now, and Gen AI is right now very much trending. In the data engineering side, there are a lot of tools, but probably those are not something that people might have heard about. For a beginner, this might not make any sense because data engineers are people working in the back end. So usually those technologies are not exposed that much. But Gen AI, everybody knows Gen AI because it is accessible to everything.
So
right?
what is the next thing which will come in Gen AI? We have already done with the text, already images, videos, even audio format. If we see, right, I can just type down and I can get an instrumental or something like that. What is the next thing which can now circumpass these things?
I think this is just the beginning. So
Okay.
now they are all in testing phase. Even if you look at the video, the 1 minute video,
Yes.
it's not that it doesn't have that quality.
Okay.
Some parts it is blurred. If you see a human hand, you can see some parts are blurred. So it is in the testing phase. Now what is going to happen? This will probably be more general. For example, I can ask it to probably for a short film of 20 minutes if I give an idea.
Okay.
It will do the whole thing with perfection, right? So now there is no perfection. Also, the length it can process is very less, and I believe there will be a time. So the obvious slogan that if you are not paying, for the product, then you are the product.
Yeah.
Right. So right now everything is free, and there will be a paid version very soon.
Yes.
All these companies have paid versions. I think ChatGPT has a premium version.
Yes.
So there will be a time when this will become premium, and then only content creators or people who really want to do it might be using it. So you can expect videos or movies or anything to be artificially created.
We are already seeing a transition now. I recently heard that few of the movies are using AI to generate some background scenes or something like that, or to upscale the footage, images.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So the future looks promising and worrying at the same time. So there is always this question about losing control and losing security, and it bothers me a lot because I am an old school guy. So I remember fixing my computer by opening it and going inside the screwdriver. So now I don't even know where it is running. So we lose complete control. So it is a fact.
Yes.
So there is just now today I saw the news article that yesterday ChatGPT went mad for 12 hours.
Okay.
What happened? You type something, it was spitting gibberish.
Okay.
Okay, so normally when you ask a question supposed to answer, it was spitting gibberish, complete gibberish.
Yeah.
Something went bad
Went
for 10 hours. So 10 hours there was an outage. So why, nobody knows. So they said they will fix it, and they fixed it. So I don't know whether the age of uh, what you say machines rise will come. I'm not quite sure about it, but definitely there is some concerns about this, and big companies are already in agreement that, so very recently Microsoft, Facebook, and all these companies formed a consortium, and they passed a rule that you cannot use AI for US elections,
Okay.
because now that the deep fake and other things are like,
Yeah.
so you can influence an average user.
Easy.
See, I am an average user, I have no idea. Imagine, I'm not a techie guy. I see a video of, let's say, Donald Trump or somebody saying something, I will not vote for him. I'm not going to check the genuinity of this video. I don't
Absolutely.
care, right? So this is like a huge threat in India and also in abroad. So they have formed a consortium to block any AI related content to be used for publicity, for elections.
For
and all.
election purposes.
Yes.
And same, I think, can happen for India as well, right? A lot
Absolutely.
of people still are not that much equipped with, believing that whether the video is fake or real, or they don't doubt even a single thing, right? And that would be an important factor, because a huge level of misleading can happen because of this.
Right, absolutely. So those pointers have to be, so you have to have. So the next question is that, will it eat your job?
Yeah.
Like AI is going to
Absolutely.
boom, and will it eat your job? Not literally, but it is going to eat your job. So the
Okay.
low level jobs will be eaten already.
Yeah.
Right? The low level jobs, the mundane tasks. I won't call them mundane tasks. There were people who are specialized to do it, but a machine can learn and then probably do it. But a middle management and higher management roles are going to be there, because somebody should be there who understands what is happening,
Okay.
and then make a decision, right? So a manager will probably use AI to see what is happening, but then he makes a decision. So you cannot let everything be decided by AI. That doesn't make any sense, obviously.
Yes.
So low level jobs, yes, already a lot of jobs are gone. Already a huge amount of jobs are gone.
We are seeing job cuts, like I think IBM also fired
Yeah.
thousands.
So
of
you
people.
have this, I almost forgot, there is this robotic process automation,
Okay, happy.
RPA. That's
Yeah.
also another interesting technology where you automate things.
Okay.
For example, I want to create a chatbot. If somebody say hello, it should say hello. Or I am receiving a ticket. Let's say customer care, I am receiving a ticket. Automatically, it should read what is in that, send an email.
Okay.
So this will replace your entire call center.
Yeah.
I mean, call centers, I think most
That's
of them
sick.
doesn't exist now.
Okay.
It's all automated now, IVRs and all these things. Still, we require that human touch, but many places you see, so these kind of jobs will be seriously in
But
trouble.
now when the decision making comes, right? So for example, if I'm making a call to a call center regarding, let's say, refund or something like that, and that's a very important decision. If a human is answering that call, right, he can decide that whether the person is genuine or not by my voice tone or something
Right.
like that.
Right.
But now, how do you think like the AI will does it have the ability to take that deciding, factor? Like
Not
whether to
right
give-
now, not
Okay.
right now, but a time will come where, so why people are using AI for call centers is
Yeah.
that I have worked in a call center. So if you look at probably 80% of the calls you receive in a call center, they are just simple issues, silly issues.
Okay.
Right? People are not able to explain what is the issue. Even if they explain, it's very silly, not critical. So the time of the agent is gone in this, probably minutes and hours, right? So for example, I am calling the call center saying that my computer is not working, right? Then they will say, okay, sir, plus here, plus there. It may be a very simple issue. I didn't plug the connection, something like
Yeah.
that. So now what is happening? You are replacing this with chatbots and artificial voice.
Yes.
And that is able to fix this issue, because there's some simple issues.
Yes.
For a very critical issues like refund and all, probably what they will do is initial assessment they will do, and then they will transfer this to a manager.
Okay.
But by the time he will get a summary, okay, this is the issue, I just need to initiate a refund. And I cannot stress more enough, summarization is the biggest power of AI.
Okay.
Summarization. You summarize things, right? So you can see it in many places. You can ask ChatGPT to summarize a book,
Yes.
or an article, or a movie, or so it is very good at summarization, even problems.
Okay.
Right? So you give a very complex problem, it will summarize and tell you this is the problem.
Okay.
Right? So otherwise you have to wait a lot of time to understand, okay, this doesn't happen, that doesn't happen. So, but probably in the future, I believe every decision might be taken by, not sure.
So yeah, that's the thing.
I mean, like a lot of tools are getting developed on AI. That's another improvement that we see. So a lot of companies are coming with ideas where that is powered by AI. They use AI to. So very recently, I worked with a company. I consulted with a company. So what they do is, see, previously, if I want to create a software,
Okay.
right, then I have a developer. He comes in, he sits and codes. Let's say a website I want to create.
Yes.
And he does this. Now these guys will give you some modules. You drag and drop and the website is ready.
Ready, right?
So AI does this.
Okay. So now AI can do that. You just give it a prompt and they can create the entire.
They can
website
create the
and
entire thing.
How it looks.
So maybe some of the companies, they don't know how to interact with ChatGPT, or they don't want it. So these guys have customized it. So they have a product with technical support. You use that product. In that product, I can just click here, click there, and my software is ready.
Ready.
For example, I need to set up a payment gateway.
Yeah.
I click, it is set up. So there is a lot of code or a lot of things I need to worry about it, but the AI based tool does that. So there are a lot of companies who offer full automation, right, without somebody sitting and writing the code, which is great, I believe. So I think the future is at the same time, promising and challenging both. And I also believe that we are in a golden era, because you see, when I started my first job, there was only computer and Java, nothing else. So anybody who get a job learn Java, and that's the end of it. There is no innovation. You just learn, you just work. So now look at the opportunities you have, right? So people can work in many different domains. They can very easily implement their ideas. So even though there is a lot of confusion and chaos, I believe we are in a golden era right now. So that's what I think.
Thank you, sir, for your views on new
My
emerging
pleasure.
technologies and these explaining a lot of stuff to our viewers.
My pleasure.
Thanks.